Hi everybody, and welcome to the debut episode of Brian's Crippled Kitchen. Some of you might remember from last season I had Cooking with Brian. That really was just meant for the humor. Every time I cooked something I would screw up halfway through and well, I would just call for a pizza. It wasn't meant to be serious. This series, on the other hand, what I'm here to do today is to show you if you have a disability and cooking is something that you've always wanted to do but you struggle with it, I'm here to show you the easiest way to cook something. I also took cooking in college and didn't really enjoy well, the whole college experience in general, to be honest. But I figured I'd give that degree another go and put it to good work. I'm a huge fan of breakfast, always have been. Breakfast is one of those things you can have it anytime you want. When growing up, when I would come home from school, I would love to hear from my mom or dad, do you want pancakes for supper? Do you want bacon and eggs? One of my favorite meals. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to show you an easy way to make a breakfast burrito. Let's get to it. So for this recipe, what you're going to need at least 2 eggs, a slice of bacon. Now personally, I like turkey bacon, it's just me. I know a lot of people feel that that's simply not bacon, and fair enough, totally understand. I find pork bacon a little too greasy for my taste, so I've got some turkey bacon right here, so you'll need at least 1 slice of that. You'll need a wrap, of course, because it's going to be a burrito, so I've got a wrap right here. You'll need some sort of sauce. Seeing as it's still before noon, I don't want to go with anything too heavy, so I've got some ranch dressing. And I always like to finish off pretty much anything with some cheese, so I've got some shredded cheese here. As I said, this can be for any time of day, so you don't have to stick with ranch dressing. I've been known to put on some sriracha with mayo, some barbecue sauce, whatever you like really, but seeing as it's still 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm just going to have some light ranch. So the first thing you want to do, we're going to be scrambling these eggs, which I recently taught myself how to do. You're going to want to crack the eggs and put them in a bowl. Now some people say that it's best to take the egg and crack it on the counter on a flat surface. If you do it on the side of the bowl or on the side of the frying pan, you may get some shells in there. I've been doing this a while, so I'm going to do it on the side of the bowl, but just keep that in mind. Fishing out eggshells out of egg after you've cracked them can be a little frustrating, so entirely up to you, but as for right now, I'm going to crack them on the side of the bowl. Okay, so those are in the bowl, so now you want to scramble them up. You can use a whisk if you'd like. I've just got a fork here. Makes a lot more noise, so hey, why not? So you want to take your eggs with your fork or your whisk and just kind of whisk them up. Break up those yolks really well. I'm sure hopefully you can see that. Okay. Those are good enough. Now every time I've seen videos on scrambled eggs, everybody adds salt. I don't know why, I never really add salt to anything really, but as we all know, you can believe anything you see on the internet, so let's add a little bit of salt. Just a little twist will do. Kind of like me on the dance floor. Alright, so those eggs are ready to go. Next you want to grease your frying pan. You can use any kind of oil you like. You can use butter, you can use margarine. Personally, I like the oil that comes in a spray. I find that a lot easier, and this is what this is all about, to make things easier for everybody, but it really is a matter of preference. So I'm going to take my olive oil spray and just spray it in the frying pan. There we go, that's enough. And next you want to turn on the burner. So you're going to want to give that a minute or two. Occasionally picking it up and just make sure that the whole area gets covered. Alright, so that's warm enough. So what I'm going to do, I've turned it down to 5 for now. I'm going to take the eggs and I'm going to pour them in. As you start to see the white in the frying pan, you're going to want to move them around and get them a little scrambled. So you want to move them around quite frequently. This is actually a nice little workout. And as you see that they start to solidify a little bit, you want to bring them all to the middle of the pan. Once they've started to solidify quite well, I'm just going to push them off to the side for a moment, and I'm going to add a slice of bacon. Oh, I love that sizzle. Alright, so move the bacon so it's fully flat, so everything gets cooked properly. Continue to move those eggs around a little bit. They're pretty scrambled, but I want to keep moving them around. Taking all the excess egg off the sides of the pan, bringing them to the rest. Can't waste that egg. You're going to want to give that bacon about 5 minutes on one side until you flip it. Okay, so about 5 minutes have gone by, so I'm going to take my spatula and flip that bacon. Don't worry about eggs sticking to it. It's all going in the same burrito. I know some people like to add milk to their eggs. They say they make them fluffier. Personally, I think that's a myth. I've done it before. I really can't tell the difference. So you want to give that bacon a few more minutes, and then you want to flip it again. Once you start to see some browning, it's pretty much ready to go, but it really depends on how you like your bacon. If you want it crispy, leave it in a little longer. Okay, we've let that bacon go for a few more minutes, so it's time to flip her again. Don't worry about the egg that just fell on the floor. We'll get that later. Okay, one more flip of the bacon, and I think that'll do it. Okay, the bacon's looking nice and crispy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the burner for now. Now you never want to leave the pan on a burner when it's off as it's cooling down, so I like to move it to the next one for now. We'll let that sit for a minute. Now we're going to prepare our burrito. First thing you want to do, add your ranch dressing. So you just want to make a line halfway down. Not halfway down, rather, right in the middle. Use as little or as much as you like. But I like to keep it right in the middle because that's where everything's going to go. Okay, and next, you want to add your cheese. For those of you questioning why I have lactose-free cheese and not lactose-free ranch dressing, you ever had vegan dressing? It's disgusting. What's wrong with you? Just grab a nice little handful. Again, as much or as little as you like. Personally, I love cheese. If you don't, get away from me. Okay. I think that's enough. Now it's time to add your bacon. You want to do that first. So just pick it up with your spatula. Lay it as flat as you can. Don't worry if it's a little curled up. There we go. You take a look at that neat little bacon. And then finally, you want to add your eggs on top. There we have it. Now you want to move everything to the middle. That'll make it a lot easier to wrap. Okay, everything is in the middle of the wrap now. And now it's time to wrap your burrito. I don't mean that as a euphemism. That's a later series. I'm still working on that, trying to get it past the censors. Okay, now I'm out here in the by the kitchen table. Some of you might be wondering why I didn't just wrap the burrito in the kitchen. As a wheelchair user, I'm quite short. I'm less than 4 feet tall sitting down. And I've tried wrapping burritos on a kitchen counter that is up to here on me. It's quite difficult. So what I've done, I've brought it out to the kitchen table. It's much lower and much easier. And again, this is for those with disabilities or those who struggle cooking because of their disability. So that's why we're here. So I'm out here on a lower surface and it's time to wrap this burrito. So what you want to do, you want to take both sides, left and right, and you want to tuck them in until they're touching. Right like that. And then take the back and very carefully wrap it towards the front. If things start to pop out, you'll want to tuck them in as best you can. And just keep doing that until it is fully wrapped. Let's watch that again. So what you want to do, you want to take both sides, left and right, and you want to tuck them in until they're touching. Right like that. And then take the back and very carefully wrap it towards the front. If things start to pop out, you'll want to tuck them in as best you can. And just keep doing that until it is fully wrapped. There's one more step. Let's go back to the kitchen. Okay, we're back in the kitchen. I have one more step. I've turned the burner back on 5. That's still has some residual heat in there, so it won't take very long to heat up. I've turned it off. I turned it off just for safety. There have been times when I don't turn it off because it only takes me a few seconds to wheel back to the kitchen, wrap the burrito, and come back. I know it's not the safest thing, so that's why I turned it off, but it is entirely up to you. As you get more comfortable, if you feel you're okay with that, feel free to leave the burner on. But personally, I recommend turning it off, wrapping the burrito, coming back, and turning the burner back on. So I'm just going to test it. All right, it's already got some nice heat coming there. So we're going to take the burrito that you just wrapped, and you want to put it into the frying pan. Now be very careful with this, as it is, of course, very hot. There we go. So you want to leave that for a few minutes. What it's going to do, it's going to seal the bottom of the burrito. So when you bite into it, everything doesn't fall out. It's a burrito, people, not a taco. Occasionally you want to check it. And once there's some nice browning underneath, it's ready to go. It's not quite there yet. I almost burned myself. Oops. Again, be very careful. Feel free to also use your fingers. It actually covers a bit more area. And just lightly pat down. Okay, so we just checked it and it's nice and brown underneath, so You want to take your spatula again, and again be very careful. You want to get underneath it to lift it up and transfer it back over to the plate. And there we have it. Nice scrambled egg and turkey bacon burrito. That was fun, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed it. And if you have any suggestions as to what you'd like to see me cook next, use the hashtag on Twitter, BCK, Brian's Crippled Kitchen, or reach out to me either on Twitter at Halifax Ninja or on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Again, I had a great time, and I'm starving. It's time to dig into this thing. Bon appetit.